Hey everyone, and welcome to the show. Imagine like a world, where one weapon could just like change everything. I mean, just like completely upend the balance of power. That's the kind of high stakes scenario we're dealing with today as we dive into a thriller that really gets your heart racing. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below so you don't miss out on future deep dives like this. The book we're exploring today is called Neptune-Six by Sam Cogley, and you can find a link to it on Amazon in the description below. This book is so much more than just an action-packed adventure, though. It really makes you think about, the whole shadowy world of international espionage, the price of loyalty, and the terrifying potential of unchecked ambition. We're going to follow Adam Knight, this highly skilled operative, as he gets tangled up in the dangerous web surrounding a stolen experimental stealth torpedo, the Neptune-Six, which is turned up in Vincidoria, a nation already on the brink of chaos.
Yeah, it's like Cogley doesn't waste any time throwing us right into the heart of the action.
Mhm.
We meet Adam Knight. He's already in Vincidoria operating under the alias Adam Fisher. But what's really interesting is this little detail about Knight's past, his childhood connection to this country. It's like a ghost from his father's business dealings there. It's a subtle touch, but it adds this layer of personal history to the mission, like a whisper of familiarity in a landscape that's anything but safe.
Right, so Knight's not exactly there for a walk down memory lane. His mission is to locate a missing CIA operative named David Nunes and also Isabella Rodriguez, who's a key figure in the Liberty Rebellion. But things get complicated pretty quickly, don't they? We find out that Nunes has been captured by the Oscura, this brutal security force led by Chief Inspector Lozano. Talk about setting a tense mood right from the start.
Absolutely. And Knight's early attempts to make contact just highlight how risky and delicate espionage really is.
Right.
The forged documents, the constant feeling of being watched, these are like classic spy thriller elements. But Cogley uses them so well to create this sense of claustrophobia and danger. And then there's that scene at the safe house in Esconda. It's supposed to be a haven, but it turns into a trap that Knight himself ends up triggering, leading to this explosive first encounter with Lozano. It's a brutal introduction to the antagonist, that's for sure.
Yeah, Lozano comes across as a truly menacing character, someone who's described as the architect of dread itself.
Yeah.
Someone you want to mess with, that's for sure. Knight's escape from that initial confrontation is pretty impressive.
Mhm.
And then he goes and ups the ante by infiltrating the Las Colinas police headquarters. I mean, that's bold, going straight into the lion's den. Why do you think he took such a risk so early on?
Well, it shows how urgent the mission is.
Right.
And maybe Knight felt like he was running out of options. He needed information fast. And sometimes the riskiest path is the only one that offers a chance of success. Inside the headquarters, his focus is on finding intel about Isabella Rodriguez and the Liberty Rebellion. And when he discovers those files, including surveillance on Miguel Ortiz and Angel Vasquez, it starts to shed light on the government's attempts to crush this uprising. It gives us a glimpse of the wider political landscape that Knight stumbled into.
Yeah, and just when you think he might pull it off, he has this close call with a police officer in Lozano's office. He's forced to make another hasty retreat, and that leads him to finally connect with Miguel Ortiz. Their escape from Las Colinas and that classic Plymouth Roadrunner feels like something straight out of an action movie. It injects this burst of adrenaline into the story.
It does. And through Ortiz, Knight is introduced to Ricardo, Isabella Rodriguez's husband, and some other members of the Liberty Rebellion. But here's where Cogley throws in a curveball. Isabel wasn't waiting to be extracted like Knight had assumed. She was actually on a scouting mission for the rebellion. What do you make of that? I mean, what does it tell us about Isabella's character, her dedication, her willingness to take risks?
It definitely paints her as someone who's all in on the cause, maybe even to the point of putting other people at risk.
Right.
Her going off on her own could have jeopardized Nunez's safety. This scouting mission leads her to a fenced-off military facility in the Selva Nocturna. When Knight and the rebels get inside, they find something unexpected. It's like a huge empty warehouse. What were they expecting to find there? And why was it empty?
Well, they probably thought they'd find something related to the rumors about the Neptune-Six. Right. That empty warehouse could mean that whatever was there has been moved recently. Like they were close, but maybe just a little too late. It creates this feeling of unease, like there's something hidden going on. And of course, things go south quickly when Knight is captured by Lozano and his men. It's a reminder that the danger is constant, and Lozano is relentless in his pursuit.
This capture feels like a major setback. Lozano has been like a shadow hanging overnight, and now he's got him, but the escape that follows is pretty intense. They get away on boats and end up in this dramatic confrontation on the river. It looks like Lozano's boat explodes, giving Knight and the others a moment of reprieve. But what's interesting here is this constant shift between moments of danger and moments of escape. It's like a classic thriller pattern where every victory leads to a new challenge.
Exactly. And when they reach the rebel safe location, that's when we get the first real mention of the Neptune-Six. It's not just whispers and rumors anymore. It's actual evidence, text on a photograph of this massive torpedo or missile that Isabella found inside that supposedly empty military facility. This discovery changes everything. It raises the stakes to a whole new level.
Yeah.
What do you think the impact of this visual evidence is on the story?
Well, it takes the threat from being a local conflict to something much bigger and scarier,
Yeah.
right? The photograph makes it real tangible, and then we get the chilling description. The Neptune-Six, this long-range prototype stealth torpedo stolen from Seattle, capable of carrying a nuclear warhead. Suddenly, it's not just about a rebellion in Vincidoria, it's a potential global catastrophe.
Yeah, the situation is getting serious fast. Knight is extracted and briefed by Naidu, and that's when the London connection comes into play.
Mhm.
And we're introduced to this mysterious company called Data Britannia. We learned about Al-Japa, this terrorist organization, and the intel suggests that their second-in-command received the Neptune-Six in Vincidoria. So Knight's new mission takes him to London, where he's partnered with Sarah Croft, who's supposedly an MI6 agent. What were your first impressions of Croft?
Well, her introduction brings in that classic element of intrigue that you get in sped stories.
Right.
Can she be trusted? What are her real motives? Their visit to Data Britannia, the super secure hardware manufacturing facility that's suspected of holding the Neptune-Six's guidance system. It feels like something straight out of a spy movie. And then there's Croft secretly taking pictures during the tour. That's a huge red flag for anyone who's seen a few of these movies. It hints that she might have her own agenda.
Yeah. And that suspicion seems to be confirmed when they're attacked shortly after leaving Data Britannia. The attackers are supposedly Al-Japa operatives. At first, it seems to reinforce who the enemy is, but knowing what we know now, what do you think the purpose of that staged attack really was?
It was all a setup, part of a much bigger and more complicated plan, right? This is where the big betrayal is revealed. Croft was the one who orchestrated the attack, and MI6 was in on it. They allowed Al-Jabhat to get the guidance system as part of this incredibly risky infiltration strategy. It's a huge twist. It completely changes our understanding of who the real players are. The lines between loyalty and betrayal get so blurred, don't they?
They really do. It shows how complex and morally ambiguous the world of intelligence can be. Sometimes achieving long-term goals means making deals with dangerous people in the short term. Knight and Croft are captured by Adel Zarara Jabba's second-in-command, and they're taken to this remote island facility. They're completely isolated, and the danger is even more intense. Then they meet Gregory Firhan, the leader of Al-Jabhat, and he drops this bombshell. He had already taken the Neptune-Six from Vincidoria before Knight even got there. What does that tell us about Firhan's abilities, the level of planning involved?
Well, it shows he's thinking ahead. He's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. He was manipulating events from the start. And the revelation about the island facility, that its purpose is to launch the Neptune-Six at New York City, that's terrifying. It shows the true scale of Al-Jabhat's ambition. They're not just messing around. This is a global threat.
The clock is ticking, and the threat is real. Knight manages to escape from his cell using nothing but a stolen screwdriver. It's a testament to his resourcefulness and training. What follows is this desperate, almost impossible fight through the facility, made even more dangerous because he's disguised as a technician. And then he makes a horrifying discovery. The Neptune-Six is in a launch mechanism ready to go, and the countdown has started. The tension is almost unbearable at this point.
It's a race against time. And just when all hope seems lost, the cavalry arrives. MI6 operatives, alerted by Croft using her ring as a signal. The facility erupts into chaos with gunfire everywhere. Firhan tries to manually launch the torpedo from the power module. It's a classic villain move, refusing to admit defeat.
And that's when Knight and Croft confront him. The struggle leads to a dramatic and tragic climax. Firhan, in a last act of defiance, detonates dynamite, using a cigar as a fuse. He destroys the power module, sacrifices himself, and buries the Neptune-Six. It's a violent end to his threat, but it comes at a cost.
A huge cost. Croft is killed during the confrontation. It's a stark reminder of the personal sacrifices that are made in these kinds of high-stakes operations. Knight escapes from the collapsing facility, but he's left with the devastation and unanswered questions. Even though Al-Jabha has been neutralized and the Neptune-Six is buried, there's a sense of unease in the aftermath. Naidu and Bishop discuss the fact that another unidentified organization was bankrolling Al-Jabha the whole time. It's a chilling realization. It means that Firhan and his group were just pawns in a bigger game. What do you think the implications are for future threats?
It suggests that the real power brokers, the people pulling the strings, are still out there. This was just one battle in a much larger war. Knight's last scene in New York, He's wrestling with everything that's happened with Cross-Death. It highlights the personal toll these missions take and the uncertainties surrounding the true nature of the threats they face. The world might be safe for now, but the forces at play are definitely still active.
It makes you wonder about the motives of this unknown organization.
Right.
They were willing to fund a plan to launch a nuclear weapon, so what are they capable of? With the Neptune-Six buried, but those shadowy financiers still out there, what does the future hold? Was this a decisive victory or just a brief pause before an even bigger threat emerges? It's a question that stays with you long after you finish the book.
It does. The story does a great job of wrapping up this immediate threat, but at the same time, it hints at this much bigger and more complex web of intrigue that's still out there, lurking beneath the surface.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Neptune-Six. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'd love to hear what you thought. What was your favorite moment? What surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, please like the episode and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our future explorations. With the Neptune-Six buried, but the organization behind Al-Jabha still in the shadows, what do you think the future holds? Was this a victory or just a temporary reprieve? Share your theories in the comments. We're always eager to hear what you think.